Welcome to the right renovation. Keep motivated and stay on board. So this is what we're building. These are the B&Q ranges I've told you. They're the Good Home Caraway. This is a 1000mm base unit. Pretty easy to get. This is the biggest one I put together. So the biggest one was 800. They're pretty straightforward. They're just a flat pack. So if you've done flat pack in the past, I like to do mine in a certain way, whereas it's good for my mind. I like to get everything out, lay it all out. Quite well packed actually. Comes with the instructions. Always keep them to one side. So let's this top's going to be annoying. So I know this is the bottom because of these big holes where your feet go in. Your 5 feet. Don't need that first. So put it to one side, stand it up so you can see it, because you have to kind of match holes up. I know this is a big plain one, so I know this is the shelf. That's the last thing to go in. That is the cross member that goes along the back. We will need that first off, because we have to put all the pins in it. That is part of the middle cross member that goes across the top of the unit in the middle. That is the upright that goes in the middle that separates your doors. And then what you've got is your 2 sides. Obviously you have to look on the instructions of which way round this goes, but you have got the slot for the hardboard at the back. So it is pretty straightforward. This is your strengthener across the front, like you've seen on the other units. It's good design that. This is a better design than having the wood one across, because they tend to break and they're not all the same sort of use. But what I do is, they're all my bits. Oh, sorry, I tell you what, I've got to take it out. It always looks like cardboard. Is the back of it. These are all for your legs. 5 legs. These you attach to your plinths, your kickboards, and then they clip onto your legs. It will ask you on here, let me try and show you that, what style we're going to be putting in. And the style we're going to be putting in is a draw line. No, sorry, it's not going to be a draw line. It's just going to be 2 doors like that. I'm having draw lines this side and plain doors the other side. So we're working off an A1 diagram. Bottom first. And it works off these cams. You must have seen these on flat packs before. They push into the hole, you see, and then your pin locates in there. I know that there's a hole through there to that hole, so I know that a cam's got to go in there. And you push them all the way. This goes in. Now this always goes in metal end first, this bit first. So that's obviously going to sit in the cam. Let me show you. If that's sat in the wood like so, I'm doing it, and then that'll push into there like that. And then the cam will go round it and capture it, and that's what pulls it together tight. So I just tap them in. You don't need to bash them in. I wouldn't down in the 3 holes on the edge, because this is where it connects to the sides. And then the cam in there. Make sure that the open end of the cam is facing out towards the hole. It has got a little arrow on the cam, and it does tell you which way to turn them, so you can't really go wrong. I feel like I'm teaching people to suck eggs here a little bit, but I thought I'd just go through it just to show you. The thing with these cams, which is a bit of a tip, is don't over tighten them. I use a flathead screwdriver for them. They have got like obviously a Phillips sort of setup in them, but I just use a flathead. It fits in better. If you over tighten them, they will break out of the actual chipboard. With them, it's just a bit of experience. You just slowly tighten them up till you feel them grip. Tap them all the way home. I always think they should stick out just a little bit farther than they do. I'd have them out about another 2 or 3 mil maybe. Okay, next one is the crossbar. Then they want this one, which has just got 1 cam in the end. So what we need now is one of the sides. So what it tells you to do is put this in, look on the diagram of which side these holes are. They want to be inside the unit. Your cam should be facing that way so you don't see it from inside the cupboard. Okay, so just in the cam, turn it. It nearly goes 180 degrees. Just till you feel, you can actually hear the chipboard, you know, kind of crunching. Don't over tighten. That has gone 180 degrees and it's got it. Go any further than that, that will just break out of the hole and it's rendered useless. Okay, so we're going to want the cams and all that. facing out, and if you see there's a slot for the back there, so that obviously has to marry up there, so you can't really go wrong. You can really put it in one way. So the 2 cams locate in there along with the 3 dowels. Sometimes they don't just line up quite correctly. You need to just get a little bit of a tap down. Get it pushed down as far as you can to start with and just nip it up. What they ask you to put on now is this, which is the metal strut that goes in the front at the top. That levels up flush with the top of the unit. That will drop in the hole there. Will it be this one? Yeah, this one. You can tell because they've got a groove on them. I think it's easier to push it through there first, then into the holes. These are awkward. But it all goes in, all taps in. How that plastic fits round the guttering, taps into the holes, holds it there. Then what you do is you put 2 screws in there. Most important, you only get one go at putting screws in the chipboard. If you over tighten it, and once you get down to the nipping and it keeps spinning, you've over tightened it. It's not going to be structurally good. So what I do is, I turn my drill, clutch down, so that I've got no fear of over tightening it. These are only little screws. See how the clutch is tucked in? That screw's not spinning and it's nipped up. Now I've got to drop the back in. Okay, so obviously it's got a white and a brown side. You want the white side facing in. Push it in, make sure it's flush on this edge and flush with that, and then you know it's pretty square. We will test the square of the unit before we secure it all down. Okay, so what we've got to do now is put the other side on. It's a bit of a guessing act. The strength of the whole unit comes from the back. I can never understand why they don't make them that bit thicker. So what we need to do now is just tighten the cams down, which are these. Like I say, do not over. So what you do now is you use, they give you these 2 big-headed screws here, and the cross member that goes back there, they tell you to put these in. And this will hold it square because of the back. That's why I say I don't know why they don't actually use a stronger back. These can be a bit confusing. This is your middle strut. Now it's got 3 holes in it there, obviously, for the 3 holes that go in there. But you have to check on the diagram that you've got them the right way round. Turn it 180, just nip it up, that goes in here like this, in the middle. Now, this being a 1000mm unit, on the end of here you've got 5 different settings. Like I did with that corner one, I had to move it along. So it makes a smaller aperture on one side and a bigger aperture on the other. Because I know that we've got 500 doors on these, so it's going to be in the middle one. This bracket actually slots into this rod here. Now I know it's going to go in, I'm going to put 2 holes in the middle set here. You can see that. Strangely enough, the holes don't go all the way through, so you have to physically drill through. What I do is I put them in so they're just sticking out. And this is where it is easier if you've got there's 2 of you. I'll put the bracket so it slots into the middle hole. There's actually a hole drilled out in the bottom of this. It's like the screw off in the hole. Like so, just put it in a bit further. There's 2 holes at the bottom of there. So I need to line them up so they drop into the screws that I've just left protruding through the wood. Test it with a square. That is spot on square. I hope this is not kind of boring you to death, because flatpack is a bit boring. Obviously we're going for the middle hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the screw, then I'm just going to lift it slightly to get it smack on centre. Now, I told you to put another one of these huge ones through the back here into it. Don't really see the point in having to use one that big. I've got a 20mm one left over, so I'm just going to drop down a touch, level with that, and I'm going to just nip that up into it. Okay, they give you a couple of these. These are a great invention, these. I don't know if you've ever come across these on flatpack. These go into the back of the back of the unit, slot in the groove, then you screw it in and it stops the back coming out. How many times have you had flatpack where they've been in a while on a wardrobe or something like that and the back comes out? These are a great little invention. It screws into the corner like that. I'd like to have a few more than just these two. We'll drop that one a bit lower than that one. Like I say, same thing again, don't over tighten. Like I say, set yourself a bench up if you can. I've got a couple of trestles with a bit of old MDF plywood, and I've clamped it to the trestles. And I'll tell you something, it makes such a big difference to work on. You don't want to be doing it on the floor. Okay, these are the feet. Simple setup really. As you can see, they've got a little knob on the back there that bangs into the holes. You just tap them in. This flat bit here that sticks out, that goes over the join. You can see where the two pieces join, the side and the base join, just to give it a bit more support. They're a bit tough to get in sometimes. You have to tap them in and then make sure they're level, because if the holes spin round slightly, you're too near the edge and the screw won't take. I don't think these are the best design myself. Ow. I always find them a bit flimsy when the legs are in and you've adjusted them up. If you can see that's not quite level, just tap it round, make sure they're home. Sometimes you can not tap these in right, they don't sit right, and your leg will be all over when you stand it on it. That's what I do now, which is, I never used to do it, but this makes life so much easier. What I do is, I go off one, see how the tone changes when you know it's hit home. And because obviously I'm working to a measurement there, I'll wind this out until it's exactly where I want it to be. And I know when I chuck it in there, we're not going to be far off, we're only going to be doing minor adjustments. So I've got that out at 170, which is perfect. What I'm measuring off, you could miss out on that. If you see on the top of there, it's only that bit there that actually sits on the floor, this bit. They've obviously recessed it so you can turn this without the whole thing dragging on the floor. It's just the centre bit. So you need to take your measurement from the top. Like that. So what I do, I only ever work off one, is I put it next to this one, wind it out to exactly the same spacing, and bang it in. Right, they're all hammered home. This is a bag of screws you get for all the feet with the brackets in. Same thing, down you check your clutch. You might turn it up to something else. That's working nice, they're pulling in nice. That is it. When lifting these down, be careful, you can't cock them up on the legs. If I was to put that down and then just push it over, it would just break these legs off. And this one you could do with a bit of a hand when you're getting an old fogey like me. But try and lift it down and drop it down level, like so. And that is the carcass done. Yeah, I'm going to move all this lot and we'll have a look at that piping and how we're going to cut the back out of that. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we've got it in eventually. Obviously 2 pipes for the tap, so that looks nice and neat. I cut round that tap there, but I didn't realise it was going to be poking through as much, so I had to cut above it. And then I've just cut a square out for all that, so I can get to the drain plug, get to both shut off valves. On the all, that's not bad. Bear in mind, none of these kitchen units ever had backs in them. But we are going to have a shelf going across here, so it will black out that anyway. Not a lot more I could do about that, so let's get it levelled up, squared up and screwed in and let me go and answer my door. Okay, lovely people, so today goal achieved. Got them all in, all perfectly level all the way around. It's going to make a nice sized kitchen now because we have gained a bit on the end of there. So as you can see, there's obviously a sink going there, cooker, oven and hob going in there. Looks good. You can see it looks straight just by looking at it. It's sitting nice. I've been over and over and over it with a spirit level and I'm more than happy. So tomorrow, because it's getting to that time, folks, it's getting to that time, 10 to 4. Tomorrow, double socket under there for my oven and my hob. Oh yeah, I've got to try and retrieve my drain that I've left under there. So what I'll do is I'll unscrew the 4 screws holding that to there. I'll pull that lot out and I'm going to get my drain somewhere where I need it to be. I'll bring the sink in and dry lay it without the worktop. So got some idea of where my drain needs to be, and I'll rig that up tomorrow and get it through. Probably have to drill through this shelf, which is not a problem because it'll look neater. It'll come up through the shelf and straight into the drain, or I'll leave it dry laid so it's ready for when the sink goes in. This little gap we've got left here, I will put a little filler in there with one of the end panels they give me, or something like. I think I've got an end panel in there which is 18mm, which will virtually cover that gap. So we'll see what we'll work on with that, but that's fitted lovely. I'm happy with that corner, more than happy that that's all in correct. Everything's solid. I do think they've given me a filler panel to put in here. I'm not sure where it is. I think it's in the garage with the wall stuff, but I will put the filler panel in there because if you put anything in it could drop down there. You don't want that. So I'll look at that filler panel tomorrow. So all in all, it's been a fantastic day. Very productive. I'm happy with it. I'm knackered and my knees hurt me. I've only got one set of knee pads on today, more for me. But thank you ever so much for following us on this journey. The kitchen's going in, loads more to do yet. Worktops, all the cutting of that, all the joining of that, all the tiling, all the wall units, all the painting, all the flooring, so loads to go yet. But it's looking good so far. Get everything level, that's what I tell you. So thanks for joining me on this journey. If it's your first time around here, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if it's not your first time around here, please hit that like button. And let's carry on. So please join me tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get to a worktop stage. Fantastic. See you tomorrow, folks.